Hi there, Nick from Healthy Habits PT. So this video is really just a quick video on the story of how I came into this business and the background to it. So really, when it comes to health and fitness, it's been something that I've been doing, for quite a long time. But to be honest, when I first started getting into the gym, it was really to impress a girl that I was going to see in about 6 months. This was, a long time ago now. That was the first time I actually got into the gym and started using weights. Before that, I was always very active. And then for a long time, the weight training was what I focused on, because it was very much, trying to look good, for going out on the weekends and all that. And so that really went through, pretty much into my 30s. And then I didn't really think about it as a business until I was talking to a flatmate of mine who was, we're having a beer in Brunswick Street in Melbourne. And I used to train with him all the time and show him things. And he said, why don't you become a personal trainer? So then that flicked the switch, and I thought, yeah, why not? The job I was doing was crap. So I thought, okay, let's do that. And then I had the idea of working on a cruise ship and seeing the world, going on a bit of an adventure. So that worked out really well. Got trained up for that, flew to England, did some training there for a couple of months, and then got onto the cruise ships. That was the best time of my life up until that stage. Traveled around the world, went to America, the Caribbean, Alaska, Middle East, South Africa, French Polynesia, Australia, New Zealand, all through the Mediterranean. So I got to see a lot of the world, and it was really cool. But the one thing that I noticed there was, it was really the lifestyle I was going for. The sort of training I was doing was really still just training myself and had some basic knowledge, but it was really just basic. So I got sick of that lifestyle, and then I saw my brother, and he said, why don't you come to Kalgoorlie? I've got a job here, blah, blah, blah. So went to Kalgoorlie. I happened to meet my fiance on my last cruise that I was on, and we caught up later in Kalgoorlie and started working here. The goal was to be in the mining industry for 5 years or so. That was the plan, make some money, then leave. Which was cool. I got a job in the first couple of weeks, which was really good, in the super pit working for Ausdrill. But as soon as I got the job, I realised I didn't like that job. I didn't like mining, to be honest, and but I did it for 2.5 years because we had some certain goals to kick off. But once I got those, it was like, okay, I want to go back into health and fitness. Quit the job. Quite a big thing to do for myself at the time, because obviously the money that you're earning on that job, and then looking to replace it with personal training or health and fitness was a pretty big deal. But what was more of a big deal was the fact that for that 2.5 years I didn't like what I was doing, and it did have an impact on how I viewed things, how I did things. So even though it was a big step, it's still the best thing I've ever done personally, was to get out of that environment. Now, nothing against mining at all. It's been absolutely amazing for what we needed to do, especially for myself, so no dramas there. But you still need to be happy with what you're doing. So 2.5 years, more than enough time. But when I came back into training, what I needed to figure out was, how could I have a bit more of an impact to what I was doing? I needed some more education. I needed to learn a few more things. What was really important to me at the time, this is about 32, 33 years old. So I was like, okay, no worries. Movement and being able to be healthy started to become more important than being big and looking good, in a sense. Because I knew that when I eventually would have children, I have children now, that I needed to be mobile, I needed to move, I needed to be fit, I needed to be strong enough to not be a burden, to be able to help out and do all these sorts of things, and be able to cope with all these responsibilities that I'll have later on in life, not in my 20s or 30s. So I think first child was 39, and just turning 41 this year. So now my main focus is, okay, what can I do to create a healthy body that moves well and is strong enough to do what they have to do? Will you put on weight with this? Absolutely not. That's not the goal. Is to put on weight or to forget about weight loss, but that's a byproduct of having those things in place. And that's what I firmly believe. So that's how I train. That's how I train with you guys. is to create that movement and create that strength. When it comes to the health side, it's more what we do outside of the gym. So there is a program that I do set up for that as well, to help outside of the gym. But the most thing that's important really is the whole mindset. So that's where I'm at the minute. One thing that also put a little bit of a spanner in the works is that I had a knee operation in 2005, and the operation didn't go too well. Long story short, I don't have an ACL in my right knee anymore, but advanced osteoarthritis. So what's the good thing about that is it's actually stiffened up the joint, and it doesn't slip out anymore. But even so, I still need to be able to move well on that. I still need to be able to keep in shape, keep the weight off physically, so that there's no pain in that knee, so that knee can last. And that's another thing that's really modeled or influenced what I do with my own training. So that's a little bit of a story. It's about 6 minutes or so. So if you've listened to the whole lot, that's awesome. But it just gives you a bit of a background as to the sort of health and fitness coach that you're working with and the goals that you're trying to achieve. Like I said, any questions about more of the health goals and sleeping, mindset, all those sorts of things, definitely let me know or leave a comment below. But that's my story in a nutshell. Okay, cheers.